Today is episode 9, March 26th, 2018, The Useful Idiot Show.
Shut up and sit down.
Shut up and sit down. You're listening to The Useful
Hey, so
Idiots.
Paul, what's going on with you?
Oh, my fate is to be determined.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what it means yet either.
All right, so we are back after having a Illinois primary election. So today, it looks like we'll go ahead and cover that. It looks like there was good news, at least in one sense. I think that all the politicians suck. So, well, there's that.
It's all bad news.
It's all bad news in that sense. But today we will cover the election, do a little recap about that. And then we did get some interesting topics. And specifically, it's about To the Stars Academy, a organization run with Tom DeLonge, the old singer from Blink-182. And then, of course, I want to touch on Tucker Carlson actually
Interviewing somebody from his group.
Yeah. So
Interesting characters in that group, too.
some extremely interesting characters in that group. It's
You don't want to spoil it just yet.
yeah, I think it's gonna blow a lot of people away when they hear about
What Tom DeLonge,
what Tom DeLonge is
into.
doing. All right,
Ugh.
but let's start with the election recap. I know you have some updates that you wanted to bring
Personal
up about
stake
it.
in this.
Yeah. So what's going on with the recap there, Paul?
Well, my parents, they live in the Dan Lipinski district. He's the Democratic representative in Illinois, and one of the Democratic representatives in Illinois. And he had a very close election with a far leftist challenger named Marie Newman. Dan Lipinski, he's one of the few of a dying breed, the Blue Dog Democrats, conservative Democrats. And he had a far left challenger in Marie Newman. And Dan Lipinski ended up winning by a narrow margin. And he, I actually didn't find that out till the next day. Late the election night, it was too close to call. And then Dan Lipinski ended up winning the next day. She conceded.
She conceded.
She did, yeah. Gave a pretty nice speech. I guess if you were a supporter, you would think that it was a nice speech.
I was about to say, I'm curious what you find to be a good speech.
Well, she thinks that this election will hold Dan Lipinski's feet to the fire from the left.
How old is Dan Lipinski now?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure. 50-ish, maybe.
Oh, he's that young.
Yeah, he's not terribly old.
Oh, that's surprising. So he can be a still long-running career politician if he really plays his cards right. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's been in since 05-ish, I want to say,
05?
off the top of my head, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was longer than that, but that's still 13
Well,
years.
it's
That's a
'cause
long time.
His father was in there.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. His
Okay.
father gave him the seat when he retired, basically.
Really?
Yeah. I
That's
don't know if
crazy.
did we talk about that last time?
No, we did not.
Oh.
Or at least you may have touched on it.
Maybe I touched on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't remember that.
That was something I always held against Dan Lipinski, but now that there's somebody worse running against him, that's kind of made me
A little
I
scared.
don't know if I'd say pro Dan Lipinski. That's kind of
Yeah,
too
you're
far.
pro Dan Lipinski, and
Oh,
that was
am
actually
I?
yeah, you are because I remember that you even said I'm thinking about voting for Dan Lipinski.
A Democrat, right?
Yeah. Well, I was stunned because you're my co-host, and you know
Hell has frozen over.
hell has frozen over. It was a Twilight Zone episode, you know. So, you ever think about how there's actually kind of an issue where after we revolted from the British to get away from monarchy.
I didn't think this would be something we'd be talking about tonight.
Yeah, but it crossed my mind, and I had to bring it up. And we revolted from the British for many reasons, but one thing was that we didn't want to be under a monarchy rule. And if you really actually look at all of America's history, it seems to be that we have a lot of family consistently being voted in and elected in. And not only throughout all of history, but even we've had modern dynasties between the Kennedys, the Clintons, the Bushes,
The dailies here in
the
Illinois.
Dailies here, the Dailies here in Illinois, and obviously Lipinski. Do you think that the founders would be a little offended at something of this nature, or do you think that they actually expected it?
Oh, that's a deep philosophical question.
I know, and I hit you out of nowhere with that.
Yeah, you did. Well, there's just off the top of my head. I mean, there was John Adams and then John Quincy Adams.
There was. There was
that
also
was fairly early on.
Teddy Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt.
Yeah, a little bit later. I don't know. I think it's there's so much of it now. Like, you can imagine John McCain's daughter is going to eventually run for office.
Yeah, and same with Chelsea Clinton. I can see actually running
They're
as well.
grooming these people for exactly this.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, you had George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, then Jeb Bush trying to run. I mean, it's like...
Thinking about that, please clap.
Please clap. It's I don't know.
I forgot Jeb Bush existed.
You forgot Jeb Bush existed until I brought it up.
Yeah. Jeb Bush was so. I mean, in Donald Trump's America, Jeb Bush was so far out of my mind.
Now, of course, I guess I should be quite fair. Ron Paul and his son Rand Paul also are two politicians. I'm a huge fan of both of them, but they are family as well, and they both have run for president. So I can't really say.
Well, Rand, though, I mean, let me explain, Dan, the difference between the Lipinskis and the Pauls here. Mm-hmm. Now, to be fair, the Lipinskis I'm a little bit more intimate with because I lived in the district at one time, and it's more, it's on local news, and I'm ingrained in it. Like I had a stake in it. So imagine if Ron Paul did retire. So Ron Paul retired, or he's going to retire, but you don't know he's going to retire. He's up for re-election. Bill Lipinski was up for re-election. So he won the primary. So imagine Ron Paul winning the primary. And there's no Democrat challenger, no other Republican challenger because he won the primary. Probably went unopposed. So the primary's over, and then he decides, I'm going to retire now, but my son can take my seat.
And how did that work? Did they literally just hand it off to him? Because you have to understand,
that's the minutia of what happened. I didn't pay nearly as much attention to politics back then.
Yeah, well, neither did I. I was very young.
But it was just like, yeah, his son's gonna run it now, and then that's just how it is in Illinois and Chicago and all that.
Yeah, well,
a lot of machine politics.
Machine politics, exactly. It's just a machine. It's just a machine, constantly just pumping out these I don't know what you'd call it, but machine politics. So,
speaking of machines, the thing I thought there's a lot of interesting money being tossed around in the Lipinski versus Newman race.
How so?
Well, there were a lot of PACs flowing into this race on both sides. There was Marie Newman had a group called Citizens for a Better Illinois, which was a PAC that's mostly funded by Soros groups, George Soros organizations like MoveOn.org. They donated money. Altogether, they all donated about $400,000.
$400,000.
Yeah.
To a representative
race.
Race.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think a couple million, like in the low millions of dollars were spent total on this election on both sides. I don't have that figure in front of me, but a thing that I found that was very interesting about Dan Lipinski, and I didn't tell this to you before we were preparing the show, so I'm going to hit you with something else. I'm not going back to the founding fathers or anything, but there's actually we talked a little bit. What was that? Hold on, I'm going to turn this page here, so you probably hear this on the mic. The Indivisible group, the leftist group that
you talked about at the start of last year.
Fancied themselves after the Tea Party in
yes.
terms of trying to be a leftist grassroots organization. That
yeah.
I didn't know too much about that. I just sort of discovered when I was looking up Marie Newman. Well, Dan Lipinski has his own what I would call an unusual groups donating to him. They're centrist groups. Groups that promoting politicians that work with the other side. And one is called No Labels, and there's a pack for that works with them called United for Progress, and No Labels has very little information about who donates to this group at all on the website, and yeah, there's another centrist group. Where is it here? Country Forward was the other one. They're trying to promote country over party.
Yeah, and is there anybody else? Did you see any other politicians that were being supported by these groups? Anyone else that was?
I didn't.
You weren't able to see that. That would have been very good to know. I would love to know who else was involved, and I will be looking that up.
There may be, but I was mostly just focused on Dan Lipinski and what was going on there. So that could be a nice follow-up for something in the future.
Well, what's the name of the website again?
Well, the group is called No Labels.
No Labels. Well, I will actually put that in the show notes. I'll put the website link to it so everybody can go check it out.
Everybody's taking inspiration from the Tea Party, but is the Tea Party even a thing anymore?
No, Tea Party is pretty much long gone. I mean, it's still around, but it has no influence anymore. Because you could see that back in 2012, how big of a deal it was, 2014 as well, how big of a deal it was for the national debt. What has happened to that conversation?
Everyone on the right cared about the national debt, and people on the right still do, but the politicians on the right, they do not.
It hasn't even crossed, there hasn't been a budget since 1998 or something.
Yeah.
A balanced budget since like 1998 or something.
Well, Donald Trump's spending just as much as Obama did now.
There is no difference between the political parties at this point, Paul.
It's just one party.
It's just one party. That's why we say there's no labels.
Sounds like what are you trying to get a job with them there?
It is kind of disappointing. That's why I do not believe the Tea Party still has any influence or is around anymore. To answer your question,
but they did have a run of success. There's no denying Congress totally went from Democrat to Republican.
Yeah, the Michelle Malkins of the world, and
because of the Tea Party.
Yeah,
I mean, they did have success. They just kind of fizzled out.
Well, when you have people like Sarah Palin being a like the head of that entire movement, it's kind of bound to die.
Maybe, but at one time, Sarah Palin, she was poised to be a huge star, even on Obama's level, before she shot herself in the foot.
Yeah, several times. It wasn't once.
She might not have a leg left on the one side. She shot herself.
Yeah, she also wasn't nearly as smart as Barack Obama is or was. She may be an intelligent woman, but Obama is educated.
Well, and he has the media on his side.
And he has the media on his side.
Versus the media. I mean, I hate to sound. I'm defending Sarah Palin. I didn't think I'd.
We do that all the time. I put you in positions to defend people you shouldn't.
I know. I kind of hate that.
Yeah.
Sarah Palin. The media criticizes her. It's no secret that the media praises the left and everything they do, and if it's the right that's in power, I mean. Watch the news. I mean, I frequent PBS, and every day it's the same thing. It's Trump, anti-Trump, pro-Russia, pro-Russian conspiracy, gun control. I mean, that's it. Those are like the three topics every day.
You and I are going to agree with that, but it's very obvious that anybody who does consider themselves on the left, liberal, Democrat, progressive, they will completely disagree with you.
Oh, I mean, if you think Trump sucks, if you think that gun control is a good thing, if you think Trump's in bed with Russia, I mean, Trump may be in bed with Russia. Maybe there's something to it. But
he's criticized Putin, and he has killed Russian soldiers at this point.
Killed Russian soldiers.
Yeah, in Syria.
Trump with his bare hands.
Yeah, with his bare hands. He's over in Syria. Yeah, I got you. Choking him out.
There's probably going to be a meme about that.
Yeah. Well, so it's not like as
with
if...
an American eagle on one arm, choking out a Russian with the other.
No, he's going to have the American eagle choking it out for him, just clawing out the guts of the Russian soldiers. So I don't understand how you can say that, because I do not... I mean, he says dumb things where he actually did... applaud Putin for winning the election uncontested. Well, technically he was contested, but the guy wasn't really actually allowed to win. So, he has applauded Putin for some crooked things such as that. Um, but Trump's an idiot. So I don't really, I don't really, I don't really think that he's some mastermind working with Russia. And if that's the case, what are they doing? Is there really anything being done that's showing that Russia and Trump are working together? And Putin and Trump are working together? Is there anything to show for that? I don't understand where this conspiracy comes to play.
Well, if you say it enough, people will believe it.
I still don't know what the consequences of it is. What is the consequence? That Hillary Clinton didn't win? Is there anything?
That's originally where it came from. Was Hillary Clinton spreading the Russian thing, and then the media.
Which it should be noted that she's the one who was actually working with Russia. The whole dossier and everything, man. She was actually the one working with Russia. I don't understand how the media somehow flipped that onto Trump. And that's how the left can.
Wasn't she the one that came up with fake news too? The saying fake news.
Yeah, she's the one who also came up with that Barack Obama wasn't a citizen.
Oh, that's
saying
right.
That
going back to the primary.
Going back to the primary, yeah. That's how the left somehow does it. They can always come up with and be the person who actually is at fault, and then somehow convince everybody that they're the ones who are at fault.
Yeah.
How do they do that? I don't know. I don't understand. It's the moment that I find that answer out, I'm going to be an extremely happy man, much happier than I am having to think about our politics today.
That kind of made me think of the governor's race in Illinois again. I hate to. Oh man, talk about a choice of two bad choices. I mean.
Yeah, pick the lesser of two evils. There is none.
I mean, the Democrats have been, vilifying the rich and praising the working man for at least the last 10 years. Pretty hardcore. The 1%, the 1%, the 1%. At
least
they got a guy that's the 1% of the 1% as their candidate, J.B. Pritzker. And isn't that kind of hypocrite? I mean, I could see the practical, like Rauner's a rich guy. He's going to spend a lot of his own money to get reelected. So let's have our guy spend a lot of his own money so then we don't have to spend money. Yeah, I understand the pragmatic probably approach that they had. But from a messaging standpoint, from their philosophical standpoint, what the hell?
Some of the richest people, politicians I should say, are all Democrat. In fact, the top 10, I believe, it was like 6 or 7 of them were Democrats. The top 10 in office. John Kerry's the richest guy in office, and he's been out there saying, "Yeah, we gotta support the little guy." You're the richest dude in America, but not really. But you're.
He's in the 1%.
He's above them. He's at a 0.1%, just like Hillary Clinton's in the 1.1%, and Barack Obama. Technically, he's probably just in the 1%. Trump was also a lifelong Democrat up until recently. But even Bernie Sanders, the man who really is supposed to be that low-class working man, he stands with you, the working class people. He owns 2 houses in Vermont. I mean, the guy's extremely wealthy. If you're really wondering, if you want somebody to stand up for you that's around your class, look at me and Paul. Okay, you got 2 of us right here that are actually really, along with the working class people, and it just I don't understand how you can pass this lie off onto the American people.
Well, they vilify the rich, and then they have a rich person. Oh, he's not someone you should vilify. Vote for him.
Only the Republican rich people, of course.
Yeah, they're evil.
Yeah, they're evil. In fact, I think anybody who's just not in one of the main 2 parties, anybody who's not a Democrat, I think is completely vilified, demonized, really. But let's talk about Lipinski still. Did we touch up on the rest of Lipinski? Have we covered
kind of, sort of, more or less. Yeah, I think we did. Susan B. Anthony list donated to Lipinski. They're a pretty big anti-abortion, pro-life group, which I never thought I'd see a pro-life group supporting a Democrat.
Yeah, did you see? I've seen that before.
Facebook told me. I saw a lot of Facebook ads about Susan B. Anthony.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't mention that. But
Do you know if they supported any of the Republicans running?
I don't know. I didn't.
You didn't check?
Look, no.
Totally fine. Just curious.
I'm very focused on Dan.
On one,
Lipinski.
yeah, you like Dan Lipinski. You got this thing. You've always liked him. There's something about he's your hero, right?
He's my hero. When we were talking about making a new show intro, nothing but Dan Lipinski.
Oh, it's all gonna be Dan
quotes.
Lipinski quotes. Yeah. In fact, I'm waiting for the moment that we could just interview him. So
we
excited.
could maybe get him on the show.
We actually probably
we're
could.
a
I think there's a chance
podcast
of
in,
that.
like, are we in his district here?
You're in his district.
Well, my
Technically, I'm not.
parents
No,
are.
yeah.
I could say, hey,
Yeah,
I live in
exactly.
your district.
I think your mother can sweet talk him a little bit.
Well, straight to his office on Archer Avenue.
Is that where it's at?
It's really on Archer.
We're very close, guys. Well, I guess that's I guess we've kind of covered then the Illinois election because Dan Lipinski did in fact win the primary, and Bruce Rauner for the Republicans won the primary. J.B. Pritzker won the primary.
Yeah, no surprise in the governor's race who the winners were. The people with the most money.
The people with the most money, and I don't really think that it was even possible. I didn't even hear of any of the Kennedy who was running for the Democratic governorship, and the other guy, still don't know his name. Cass?
Yeah.
Crass?
I had his name written down. I didn't know you were going to bring it up here.
Yeah, I was surprised as well.
But both of those guys, Kennedy and the other guy, they didn't have any messaging compared to Pritzker. Pritzker's ads were all over the place. His signs were all over the place. I mean, in the streets, driving around,
Yes.
I didn't think just put my thumb to the wind. I didn't think those other guys had much of a chance.
No, I mean, I could have told you that. In fact, I think we did talk about it before we recorded last episode, that there was no possible chance in my mind that they were going to win. The polls were showing, the pre-primary election polls were showing how lopsided it was.
Oh, speaking of lopsided, I did look at some stories talking about the general election, and they're already saying it's very reminiscent of Trump. They're saying it's J.B. Pritzker's race to lose. Rauner doesn't have a chance. He's very weak. Nobody likes him. He had a challenger that was in a relatively close race. It's very reminiscent of Trump. Now, I'm not predicting like a Rauner victory by any stretch of the imagination, but I think a lot of people want to go against what the Democrats have been about in this state. I mean, they're the ones in charge in Springfield, and they're the ones that have all the pension problems and budget problems, and just our state's in a fiscal disaster.
Yeah, and I don't think Rauner has helped that much, but
he's opposition.
He is opposition. Now, the key is that Rauner won 99% of the state besides Cook County. He won every county besides Cook in the last governor election.
Last election.
In the last election. Yeah. So it's quite obvious that the Democrats don't have a leg to stand on. If it wasn't for Cook County, Chicago, then they wouldn't be able to hold. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to hold on to an election here. They don't have the power in the state. The state does not like the machine that is Chicago politics, and I just don't see that ending. I don't see the rest of the state somehow now just swaying enough to J.B. Pritzker now. I don't see that happening. I see Rauner winning it again. I also can say that you and I live here, and we saw what it was like at the economic downturn all the way up until Rauner did come in. I see more business now than I ever imagined. If you remember what it was like, I mean, in my own town,
stores were empty.
Every store was empty. There was nothing.
Potholes,
there was not one store that was on. Like every time you would drive down the street, a new shop would be closing. Yeah, Fast forward to now, there's now more houses being built. Every time I see on my way to work, I see a business in every single one of those old abandoned buildings.
Speaking of businesses, one thing I know that Rauner did do was he lowered the price to start an LLC in Illinois.
You did say that.
It was over $500 to start an LLC in Illinois, and I guess the legislature passed the law and then Rauner signed it, but yeah, I mean that's a pretty big.
Put in Rabogoyevich, it would have been
a
down.
Little guy starting a small business, if you slash the rates, that's going to incentivize people to start more small businesses.
Most definitely. Yeah, and that's just supply and demand. Pure economics there. Yeah, and the best thing from the entire primary, because obviously I've already said a couple of times now, I don't like
I know where you're going now.
all politicians that are running in Illinois besides Michael Sarko. Rooting for that guy.
The libertarian guy?
Which turns out they don't have a third-party ticket at the primary.
You're saying there was no there's no third-party
They didn't have a third-party ticket.
Were there other libertarians running against
There
it?
were.
So how do you vote?
I don't know. I asked the people there, but obviously they're just some volunteers. They had no idea.
Yeah, they're going to be libertarians on the general election ballot?
I did check online and it said so, but I also checked online and I thought the primary was supposed to have it as well. I assume yes, because I did listen to Michael Sarko in an interview, and he did say, vote for me in the general election. He is technically, if you go on to the Illinois Board of whatever
Elections.
it is, elections, he is listed there. So chances are that we're going to be able to vote for him in the general election. Wonderful. But the best news is that it was just an opinion poll, but it was about 68% of Illinoisans, whatever you want to call them, Illinoisians. we in fact have all agreed that pot should be legal. Marijuana should be legal.
Now, it was on the ballot, okay, and we voted yes.
68% to 32%.
68%.
Yes, it's overwhelming.
Overwhelming. So what does that mean?
Well,
what happens now?
I know that if it's Bruce Rauner, and especially if it was Gene Ives, which I'm so happy she didn't get in, we could probably assume it's not going to be legalized here. If Bruce Rauner was a smart businessman and cared at all about personal liberty and personal freedoms, he would allow legalization of marijuana, since 68% of the populace in Illinois agreed with this. At least everybody who turned out to vote.
Yeah, very small voter turnout here. Well, I guess relatively high for Illinois, but very small. I guess the numbers are not very high in a primary for an election that is not when the president is running.
Exactly. So it's usually motivated people that really actually care. I was like one of anybody. I didn't know anybody else who actually voted besides myself. So take that as Paul calling you out there. I was trying to get as many people as I could to obviously vote, and nobody did care enough. That shows you how
you would think the marijuana legalization would have brought a lot of fanfare.
I don't think that there was a lot of people who knew that was going to be on the ballot. I didn't know it was going to be on the ballot.
Now, shouldn't somebody be out there promoting that?
You would think.
That?
I thought that would be
vote
a bigger...
yes on blah blah blah.
Yeah. I only thought that it was just a campaign issue between the Democrats and Republicans, but I didn't know there was actually going to be an opinion poll on the election ballot. It was, and I'm happy that I went.
How did that get on the ballot?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not too sure who proposed it, but most states, I believe, did just have this same.
Yeah, I mean, other states are all. Everything is moving towards legalization in the country. Good. I'm just saying that's a trend. Yeah. I'm not trying to say. I'm
not even. I'm just saying good because that's a great thing. I'm very happy for this. This is a great thing. Whatever. Let's just know that we can expect this to be a hot topic in the governor debates between Rauner and Pritzker. So let us hope that Rauner's
Pritzker's on the side of legalization.
Pritzker's on the side of complete legalization. I support him for that. I don't support Pritzker though. I need to make that very clear. I am not supportive of Pritzker.
You're joining the machine.
No,
aren't you?
Never. All right, so let us take a break, and when we come back, we can hit the subject of Tom DeLonge and his To the Stars Academy. All right, everybody. Well, we have some amazing topics, don't we, Paul?
I guess we do.
I know we do. It's a difference between me and you. You know, I don't even know what to say there.
You're so confident that you don't have an answer to mine.
So confident. I don't have an answer to you. We have something that I was extremely upset about. Yeah, I would say upset. And
You were upset for, well, you were upset. We ended up in a rabbit hole.
It was a rabbit hole. Yeah, it ended up being upset to confused to I don't even to actually accepting. I mean, I went through the full stages of what is it? Grieving. Full stages of grieving.
Well, we were talking before the show, and I still don't know. I still don't know 100% where you're at on this.
Yeah, neither do I, because it keeps changing as every time we talk.
I think we should have recorded this a few days ago when you were
A little
in
more
agreement
outraged?
with me.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
full agreement and outraged. Yeah, I definitely agree. It would have been a much more passionate show.
Well,
But
your outrage started. Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Nah,
but
go
it
on to it,
started.
man.
It
I'll let
started
you
with
start it, yeah.
started with Tucker Carlson.
What?
You're a Tucker Carlson fanboy.
I was outraged by Tucker Carlson. It's impossible.
He dared say something that you disagreed with,
I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't.
or compromised his credibility.
Yeah, because
that was exactly, like, to be honest, that was exactly what it was that you were upset about. Was that you
Exactly.
thought he didn't hold up to your standards.
Tucker Carlson to me is one of the few journalists that I trust enough to watch.
He's
Not
a
that-
commentator.
He's a commentator. He may be okay. We'll say commentator.
He gives his opinion.
He gives his opinion, and he's a man who I believe that he definitely has some views that are mainstream Republican, and I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that he says, but I at least agree that he is willing to touch things that nobody else in media is willing to, in mainstream media.
Tucker Carlson, the man that took over Bill O'Reilly's time slot on the Fox News channel.
He's well deserving of taking over that old.
I was just trying to say
creep.
who he was.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was doing. I was trying to lay
You're a
the
huge Bill O'Reilly
lay
fan,
the
so I just had to make
landscape.
sure
No.
that
I was just trying to lay the landscape for who Tucker Carlson was for those
who do
didn't
not know. That's good job, Paul. Good job. He had multiple guests on not too long ago.
He's 48. He doesn't look 48.
No, he looks very young. He's got the hair that I have when I grow it out. He's
You
got the
think
exact hair.
You think
that
it's
I
a
grow.
rug?
No,
That would be
it's not
such
a
an
rug.
old school thing, right? If that's
If you had a
that's
rug?
a toupee.
Yeah, I don't think it's a rug. It's beautiful, a beautiful head of hair on Tucker Carlson for a beautiful man. All right.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm a Tucker fanboy.
You seem like you've gotten over your issues with him.
I watched him again every day since, and
Every day. You're like me and Glenn Beck in 2011.
yeah, exactly. I have a large enjoyment watching Tucker Carlson. I think that he is a very entertaining.
That's a very odd way to say that.
I didn't really know how to put that. I didn't know how to put that. So to get to the point, finally, he played a video of a UFO. They called it an unidentified aeronautic. I think they call it. So they're trying to rename a UFO to a much more technical scientific term now.
Trying to rebrand it.
They're trying to rebrand it so you don't sound crazy now. And
You sound just as crazy.
he still sounds just as crazy because when you watch it, you realize that the video. If anybody hasn't seen it, I would recommend typing in Tucker Carlson To the Stars, because the video was provided by To the Stars Academy, which we will be getting into
Who they
right
are.
after this.
Oh, there's an after this?
Well, I just wanted to, finish up. And he had a couple of people on and they talked about it. And he believes that we need to increase the military defense budget to defend against foreign invaders, meaning that he believes that possibly UFOs or advanced aeronautic machines are going to be able to come and overtake us, based off of a very shoddy video. That
Shoddy video.
That I don't understand how you could that Tucker can actually believe. I don't believe Tucker believes that. There's no possible way. I think that he's been co-opted or paid off or forced by Fox to talk about
To have
this.
To the Stars on the show.
To the Stars on the show, specifically To the Stars on the
Who
show.
was the guy from To the Stars? Do you remember the guy?
No, I don't remember his name, but he was definitely part of DoD, Department of Defense.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, because of this, I had a flashback to June of last year with To the Stars first kind of getting their marketing out there with Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, the lead singer from Blink-182.
His name was Louis Elizondo.
Louis Elizondo was on there? That's the guy I'm going to talk about later.
Is that who it was? Or
Oh,
no, man.
no,
Wait.
it can't be that. We'll talk about him later, man. I'm going to keep setting this up. So Tom DeLonge, the lead singer from Blink-182, if you want to keep looking it up, you
Yeah.
can. The lead singer from Blink-182, he was on Joe Rogan, did an hour and 45-minute
Oh, wait. Let's back it up here. To the Stars Academy is Tom DeLonge's brainchild, right?
Yeah, he is the president and CEO, and it looks like he is only the temporary. According to the website, he is not going to probably stay in that position, but as of right now, he is the founder and the president. I don't really think that he's smart enough to run it.
to
So
run anything.
I understand why that he's interim. He is. But what's going to end up happening is like there's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts in this To the Stars. And you had Tom DeLonge talking on Joe Rogan, and all you wanted was a couple answers from the guy. How many answers did you want from the guy, and how many did you get, Paul?
Well, I mean, that was I don't have the attention span to usually listen to a show that's as long. That was over. It was
an
almost
hour and
2
45 minutes.
It was
So
almost
it's not
2
even that
hours.
long.
It was almost a 2-hour-long interview.
You can just drive and listen. Okay, well, either way,
I grew up listening to like terrestrial radio, so like a 7 or 8 minute segment to me that's long. Podcasts to me are still relatively new.
man, yeah. I
And a
guess
2
so.
or 3 hour podcast, that's a long commitment to me. to
Growing up,
listen
I
to.
hated AM radio because of that 7 minute. You could not go over that. You needed to get to radio break.
And we're back.
Yeah, and just keep on coming back. Just keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back and keep going to your breaks just to have advertisers. And it was really annoying. So when podcasts came out, I was pretty happy that I can listen to something for 40, 50, 60,
You like the long
3
form.
hours if I can. You know what I mean?
Digging into something.
Exactly.
So-
And I kept on asking, Tom DeLonge, what are you talking about? Tell me something.
I can't say who they were. No. I just can't tell you who it was from. I can't tell you. I won't tell you his name. I'm not gonna tell you if you try and find out. Look at you guys. I can't tell you some of the shit that I know, and I can't tell you. Well, that's the shit I can't tell you. I can't tell you where I'm at. But a lot of can't tell you. I know. I'm sorry. And some others I can't tell you about. Obviously, I'm not gonna say any more than that. Yeah.
Okay, that sums up the whole video of the hour and 45-minute interview. So I think we're done.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Wow.
That was all the moments that he just couldn't talk about it.
Well, wait. Before Tom DeLonge, I remember in the interview, because I did watch at least, how much of it did I watch? I watched most of it. And Tom DeLonge, who was the lead singer of Blink-182 at the time, he said he was on tour buses a lot. And that's how he got into reading books about aliens.
Well, he said that he got into aliens in 7th grade when he found a book in the library because he thought that all the other books were boring that teachers were trying to force him to read. And he found one with Loch Ness Monster and an alien, and he said, that looks interesting.
And you know what? He might be right about that.
100%, yeah. It wasn't like as if I wanted to read, I don't know, I can't remember any books from when you were 7, but, The Road, or whatever the heck it was, The Road, the book was.
What was The Road?
You don't remember The Road?
No.
Yeah, you probably didn't read it. It came out when I was in high school. So,
Ooh.
yeah, it was a newer book. But, so I understand why he would read that, but he really believes that he has more information than the average person, which he definitely does.
Because he claims that he read all those books while he was touring on Blink-182 on the tour bus.
Yeah, it makes
He spent all of his free time reading in between cities.
Yeah, which led him to decide to start writing science fiction books based off of alien encounters, and because of that, it apparently attracted attention from government officials.
Which is just crazy sounding.
It sounds crazy, right?
Right.
Okay, and I said that initially, and I watched this interview, and I sent it to maybe 5 friends after I watched this interview, and I said, I can't believe it. My childhood hero, Tom DeLonge, is gone nuts.
He was your childhood hero?
Huge hero of mine. I
No
love
way.
I love Tom DeLonge.
You're I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I thought we talked about this multiple times.
Maybe I didn't listen.
Yeah, I loved Blink-182 and Tom DeLonge. I would buy his Macbeth shoes. I mean, I didn't have a whole closet
I didn't
full
know
of them.
that.
But I had a
But
pair.
you had a couple pair. I had BK Knights when I was a kid.
I don't know what that is, but
Ooh, British Knights.
nope. Couldn't
No?
tell you
Nothing?
what that is. No.
We'll look that up after the show.
Yeah, you had some
They didn't
whatever.
last.
They didn't
were
last?
like end of the 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, Macbeth didn't. I don't know if they're
I don't
still
remember
actually selling
those.
any. Yeah, it was Tom DeLonge's line of shoes that he sold off his own website. So he's been a businessman for a long time, and he's been selling his own brand of clothing and everything. But he supposedly, like, I thought he went crazy listening to him because he didn't say anything. He didn't actually give any information, and he kept on just like talking about insane things, like animals live on Mars, and people are exploding nuclear bombs on
Mars.
moons and Mars. Yeah, sorry, on Mars.
So us or other species?
He's saying that it's just radioactive testing has shown that there must be nuclear bombs that have exploded on Mars. See, he didn't say who's doing it. I believe, which is why I think he's crazy, because he said that Earth is a proxy. We're in a war between multiple different alien races, and we're just a proxy, like as if like we're just some battleground.
Pawn?
Yeah, we're a pawn in a galactic
And
war.
you believe this now?
No, I don't believe.
Oh, okay,
this.
okay. I thought,
He's nuts. Like he says so many insane things.
but he's
which-
also a fiction writer, science
he's
fiction.
also a science fiction writer, which is why I think this is all just a ploy to go ahead and get his name out there and grow his brand. But the
How
thing
do
is-
you get real people from the government in on the scam? if
Yeah,
that's
we'll
the
get
truth?
into that. That's kind of
Okay,
jumping ahead, I
alright.
think, a
It's
little
alright,
bit.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm still trying to set up the whole situation here because
Alright.
this is like, to me, a very very broad thing that you need to kind of focus down to where we get to the point.
I
of-
still didn't know that you had such a personal connection with Tom DeLonge.
It hurt so much when I watched this interview because I actually thought, I honestly thought Tom DeLonge being kicked out of Blink-182, and Angels and Airwaves never really was as big as Blink-182 was, and it never even got,
Did you enjoy Angels and Airwaves personally?
very few songs, like just I
Okay,
couldn't-
so you were like me, and I did catch Angels and Airwaves at some point in time, probably around 2008. Does that sound about
yeah, it
right?
sounds about right. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was bored.
yeah, boring, very boring,
Yeah.
extremely boring, and even
Like
with their
if you've
show.
heard if you've heard one song, you've heard them all.
Exactly. Yeah, they were all the same, and I think they were just for teenage girls. I've said that, and I think that's all that was for. Which, no knock. He got made money off of it. He was getting his other musical tastes with different bands. I don't know what he was trying to do, but he got it out there. So, Blink-182, he's gone. He's away from them. He does not have any relation to anybody anymore, and it's and this is his new venture. Obviously, is trying to start this To the Stars Academy.
But what exactly is it?
So what exactly is To the Stars? Now you have their mission statement. Do you have that pulled up?
Oh
still?
no, I don't have that anymore.
Okay, well I have it pulled up here, and I can just go ahead and at least give a quick little overview of it, because To the Stars Academy isn't really just an entertainment. It's going to be.
Or is it?
Um,
See, that's the thing.
That is the thing. We don't know because they have. The mission is talking about.
It's like they're an entertainment company, they're an NGO, they're all these different things.
Yeah, they're trying to give researchers the freedom to explore exotic science and technologies with the infrastructure and resources to rapidly transition them to products that can change the world. That's directly from their mission statement. Now, of course, that's just the second half of it. I don't want to read the beginning because we kind of were just already talking about it. But it's really like he's part of the entertainment side of it. But everything else is supposedly supposed to be the development and growth of technologies that he believes aliens have given us, that the government's hiding from us. Boom.
Right.
Boom, dude. That's like, I was actually surprised I wrapped that all together nicely like that.
I'm just reading the part of the entertainment division.
And what's that saying?
It's interesting that they have, they're
Science, aerospace, and entertainment?
Yeah, it's like they're blurring the lines here.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that he's just maybe. I'm so lost on this at this point. I shouldn't have done as much research as I did because I've actually lost a lot of my initial disagreements with it.
Here, I could read off from the entertainment division.
Yeah, go ahead.
The entertainment division is composed of our wholly owned subsidiary, To the Stars Inc., a vertically integrated business specializing in the licensing and creation of award-winning original content. Our content aims to educate and inspire curiosity and scientific possibilities through various media formats like film, television, books, music, and art.
That was a
So
lot of
are
words.
they? Yeah, but are they an entertainment company or are they a scientific company or are they trying to blur the lines?
Well, great that you asked because they seem to be everything. Now, they've only released entertainment related products at this point. But once you start to see the people that are involved with To the Stars, it starts to get really murky. You have absolutely no idea what's going on anymore because they say they're science, aerospace, and entertainment, and they're quite serious about the science and aerospace part, man.
yeah, the people that they have on staff are shocking.
Shocking. I'm actually going to go through a couple names here because I need people to understand how shocking it really is. So, the member of the To the Stars, you can find it on the website, tothestarsacademy.com.
They have To the Stars T-shirts too. I didn't see that before.
Well, buy us a couple. We'll be good. So we have Jim Semivan, who's the vice president of To the Stars. He was senior intelligence in the CIA, and he is still currently a consultant of classified topics to intelligence agencies now. Then there was Dr. Hal Puthoff. Don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but I believe I am. He's the vice president of science and technologies. He is an advisor to NASA, the Department of Defense, multiple intelligence agencies now, and he was an engineer for General Electric, the NSA, company Sperry, which like the shoe, they're a defense company, and then SRI, which is a security research company, which is hired by the government as well for security research. Then you have Steve Justice, who is the director of aerospace division and technology for To the Stars right now. He was the program director of advanced systems of Lockheed Martin.
So he worked at Lockheed Martin.
I mean, that's like that's a high standard to be working at Lockheed Martin as
One of the
program
top people.
director of advanced systems. I mean, you have to be a very intelligent person who has a lot of information about futuristic technologies at this point to be working for Lockheed Martin at the as a program director. And then lastly, you have Louis Elizondo, which you actually brought up just a moment ago when we were talking about Tucker Carlson.
He was the one that was on the Tucker Carlson show.
He was on Tucker Carlson? Okay, I need to watch that. I didn't actually know that was an interview that they did. But he was, he did a number of things. He was actually a very, very decorated man here. He ran secret operations in Latin America and the Middle East.
Oh, he was the one that ran the secret.
He was the one, exactly.
operations.
That's why I want to touch on him after, because he's the one who ran the secret operations in Latin America and Middle East, which is why I need to watch a Tucker Carlson interview with him, because that means there might be some information. I need to know how this guy talks to Tucker Carlson. I really need to know Tucker Carlson does not like give this guy an easy pass here.
So you think it's propaganda is what they're doing? What are you thinking?
One sec. Let me just finish up. And then he was also
I
involved
jumping ahead again?
with identifying UFOs and for defense. So he ties in with this specific organization because he was actually identifying advanced aeronautics ships that were while he worked for the government. But yeah, what you just said. Can you repeat that again for me?
Propaganda.
Propaganda. Okay. Tucker Carlson in his 7-minute clip or segment that he did on this made me believe that yes, he was being co-opted to try and push a growth in military spending, because he did in fact show this video and then bring on supposed experts, quote unquote, but they were experts, but I just don't really know why he would bring them on for this specific situation to push the growth of our defense budget for advanced aeronautics because of the fear that for national security.
Aliens could get us?
It's a national security. It's a national security issue that aliens or advanced aeronautics could attack us. Therefore, we need to increase our military to make sure that we have better defense against this. Which is where I think that there is, in fact, some type of co-opting of Fox News or Tucker Carlson. Because Bill O'Reilly did talk about this as well, or Sean Hannity, one of the two. Maybe Sean Hannity.
Well,
'cause
those
Bill
guys are
O'Reilly's
traditionally neocons, though.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that.
They're for military spending.
Exactly, which is why I can understand that. Tucker Carlson will actually defend not intervening in war in peaceful countries around the world, or even if they aren't peaceful, he still is okay with not intervening in them, which is why I don't like.
You've observed Tucker Carlson, though. Where is he on the political spectrum? Is he a neocon? Is he a libertarian?
He's much more
Is he,
libertarian. Now, of course, he has some
alt-right.
No, he's much more of a libertarian. He definitely has some connections, kind of like how Ben Shapiro isn't fully libertarian, but he has a lot of libertarian beliefs.
He does, yes.
But he also runs with the Republican establishment for whatever reason.
He does.
Tucker Carlson does the same thing, but with different reasons. Not with war, but with maybe defense spending,
So do you think
immigration. He's kind of in step with the Republican establishment. But everything else he's very libertarian about, and he actually stands for a lot of things like that.
You think Tucker Carlson got pressured from the network to have this guy on?
He says that he has full control over what happens on his show.
They say that, but I mean, you have a boss at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't really know.
If you're on a big network like Fox, you have a boss that you report to.
Now, if there's any chance that Tucker Carlson's watching or listening to this, like really,
That would be amazing.
That would be the best thing in the world. It really would. I want you to understand. I respect the hell out of you, but I definitely don't trust what you did in this exact segment that you pulled off the other day. And I mean, it's just, I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. I don't really understand the need to go ahead and actually specify the push for.
Well,
for
and the
national
video
security
that they showed during the segment was supposedly a new released video that showed a UFO. And man, like with all the cameras that we have today,
It was like 2012 released.
it was filmed in 2012.
Yeah, but it was released just recently.
I mean, yeah, and that wasn't that long ago. We
No.
still had pretty advanced cameras then, especially the military is probably 20 or 30 years ahead of us.
Yeah, and if you also look at it, the way that they that it was the recording with the audio for whatever reason, actually the audio was.
You said the audio was in there, yeah.
The audio was in there of the two pilots that were involved with watching this,
Oh, okay.
and they were like acting like a couple cowboys, flying around, just going Yahoo! What is going on with this flying thing? And you're thinking to yourself, if you were somebody flying one of the most advanced aircrafts of our time, and you've been around the most advanced aircrafts of our time, and you saw what this thing was doing, you wouldn't be screaming like a cowboy trying to follow it. You'd be very concerned because this would be A, terrifying, and B, you would need to get down to the bottom of this because you as a pilot,
It's your job.
it's your job. You would be wondering what kind of technology is flying in front of me. There is no reason that I've ever seen or believed that there could be technology as good as this. So therefore, I don't trust the video whatsoever, and I think that it was a mistake to play something like that on national news.
So you think there was just a ploy to get more defense spending?
Do they think that the American people are this stupid?
they might.
Like, I mean, you need to watch it again, and maybe just tell me that I'm crazy. But you hear the audio of the two pilots, and you see the way that the ship that they're chasing is moving around, and then you hear all the things that that Tucker Carlson's kind of pushing in the video. Everything just adds up to me being extremely suspicious. Along with To the Stars Academy, I just don't trust.
I did find something else on To the Stars Academy.
Tell me about it.
Remember how I said I found a different mission statement for them?
Mm-hmm.
I pulled it back up. This is To the Stars Inc.'s mission statement.
Okay, that's different.
So
Let's hear it.
that's like I don't know if that's the parent company
Maybe.
or what, but it says To the Stars Inc. is an independent multimedia entertainment company founded by award-winning musician, author, and director. Is he a director?
Yeah.
Tom DeLonge. And with headquarters in San Diego, California, the company aims to inspire a newfound appreciation of the profound yet unresolved mysteries involving science and the universe through research and entertainment that ultimately builds community, positivity, and hope.
It's a lot to take in.
It kind of is, but I mean, in the first sentence it says it's an independent multimedia entertainment company.
And that, I believe, is their number
But
one
how do you
goal.
get all these government people and Lockheed Martin people if you're an entertainment company?
Yeah, I didn't trust Tom DeLonge in the beginning because he was saying, like we showed the clips of all the times he said, I can't really say that. I can't really say that.
Well, that was when they were questioning about aliens and
all of his meetings with defense and everything of that sort, and CIA operatives and all these things. which made me say, okay, he's using that as a cop out. He can get out of a complete lie if he just keeps on saying, I don't know, I can't say this, I can't say, I don't know. Like, a lot of weird things he was saying. But
I mean, he's the head of a company that's specializing in this.
That's specializing in this. You would think he would have to know everything. And since I didn't believe it, we had to double check because WikiLeaks did release John Podesta's emails.
Yes.
And John Podesta,
who was the who was he again exactly?
he was the chief of staff of
during the Obama administration.
Yeah, Obama.
No, the Clinton
Clinton
administration.
administration, exactly. And he also helped out with the Hillary Clinton's campaign.
That's right.
And many other things. The guy's been around. But when his emails were released during the last WikiLeaks dump during this last election.
Yeah, chief of staff to Bill Clinton.
Chief of staff to Bill Clinton. Okay. He had emails in relation to Tom DeLonge meeting with extremely high-level people. And it does say that February 25th of 2016, according to the emails, Tom DeLonge met with a few different high-level sources, including Rob Weiss, who was the executive vice president and the GM of Advanced Developmental Programs for Lockheed Martin's Aeronautics, which is also Skunkworks, who, in conjunction with CIA, made Area 51.
They created Area 51.
They created Area 51. So this was the head of basically Skunkworks. And then there was also General Williams McCasland and Michael Carey, who were both commanders for the U.S. Air Force, and they both worked at the Wright-Patterson Air Base, and that place was the head of the UFO investigations from 1940 to 1970. So this place is I'm guessing they probably just took it off the map after 1970. It most likely still is. Like what
Area 51, are you saying?
No, this is the two other guys, General William McCasland and Michael Carey.
Oh, right.
Who were both the working for Wright-Patterson Airfield Base.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I believe that they're probably still studying UFO investigations now. But it's just not on the books, I would assume. So that was 3 high-level people that he met with. Tom DeLonge. John Podesta. Tom DeLonge, a musician from Blink-182, because he read a bunch about UFOs and aliens. I mean, this is the most insane. If
if you're Tom DeLonge, how do you even get John Podesta's email?
How do you get any of this? How do you get any of these people working for you? How do you meet with these people? How are you in touch with John Podesta? You're a fucking musician. When people would always say to me, "Hey, Michael Jackson was killed by the Illuminati because he knew too much information," you're nuts.
You don't buy into those theories?
Yeah. Tupac was killed by the Illuminati. You start saying things like that, I think you're a nutcase. And then I'm the guy walking around being like, "Hey, Tom DeLonge is well connected with the DOD and John Podesta and all these other high level secretive operatives." People are gonna look at me like I'm nuts. But this is like WikiLeaks has information about it. Like this is we actually know this is real. So I don't even
just to interrupt your train of thought for 1 second. So you're a big Blink-182 fan, is that what I've gathered here? Yeah. So have any of the other bandmates ever come out and say anything about Tom DeLonge and his alien all this stuff?
I haven't watched any interviews that said that. If you listen to it, they've only talked their interviews. They do talk about how they don't like Tom DeLonge, but it's really just due to the differences, personal differences. They just don't really like the guy. Like that's really what it comes down to is they just don't like Tom. And if you kind of watch him, I don't like Tom either. At least recently. I mean, I guess
he really aged when he in that To the Stars Academy video that we watched. Where he's like got the suit on and everything.
Yeah, he's trying to adult.
Like him wearing the suit really ages him. He looks like a regular 40-something-year-old guy.
He was running around naked in music videos when I was a kid.
Right. I was a teenager when that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe that.
And now he's running a huge multi-million organization.
Well,
with some of the highest levels.
Is he running it, or is he just the mouthpiece?
He might just be mouthpiece. I think we might actually agree with that.
He's the face of the organization.
He is the face of the organization. Now, He
I mean, he doesn't even really write those Secret Machines books. His novels, Secret Machines. He's
He
like the
doesn't?
co-author. Like,
Really?
Yeah. There's other. It says it right on the cover.
I didn't see that actually. I never looked up his books because I didn't really care enough. But
Yeah, there you go. Secret Machines.
Oh, I thought you were looking up.
Well, I am, but I wasn't typing that fast. And I looked
okay.
at you, and you're looking. Up
Yeah, I
fast.
was kind of looking back at you. Yeah, I have a lot of things that I just don't understand about this, and what it ends up coming down to is I think that Tom, because he touched on this in the Joe Rogan interview, where he actually did bring up how the government sends out a lot of misinformation about UFOs and alien investigations, just to go ahead and muddy the waters of all the information that is out there about it. And to say that Tom DeLonge is not in the same situation as being co-opted by the government with all this fake information to be out there as a mouthpiece, I think would be naive. I think we'd be naive not to actually.
Do you think the information they're giving him is real, or do you think it's not real?
They're not telling him anything. They obviously, and not only that, he's not even asking about it.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
we
you
got
said.
we got that clip that he didn't even ask about.
Yeah, play the clip.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this clip. Like, he, who doesn't ask about? I got it right here.
Like for the example,
Do you think these things are traveling from where? Do we have any idea?
There's things that have been put out there, but I've never asked.
Why would you not ask that?
What the fuck? You could tell me star system like 483, and
Well, you know about
Okay. Yeah,
so you love aliens, and you're a huge alien researcher,
and your organization
and
is
you
based solely
formed
off
a
this.
company.
Your multi-million-dollar organization with the highest level of all these people, highest levels across all of government and defense. And
He just doesn't ask.
he didn't ask about it.
Aliens are here. They come here. According to him, they come here and they visit us, but we don't know where. He doesn't care to ask where they're from or why they come here.
What kind of insanity? Like, if anybody's listening to us right now, they understand that we're as confused as you after listening to this. Like,
It's taken us a while for it to sink in.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't come. It doesn't add up to anything. And normally, I want to be the guy to give everybody an answer. I want to be the one who. Well, I guess I don't. I guess, but in this situation, I specifically wanted to give people answers. I really did. I wanted.
I don't think we have any answers.
We don't have any. We ended up just we're just asking questions at this point. We just see a bunch of things that don't add up. And I don't know, man. I mean, I initially thought it was a money grabbing scheme where all
You
these
still
people.
don't think that?
I think it has something to do with that. I think that's good. I mean, they have $2.3
Didn't he say he wanted to be the next Disney?
Yeah, he wanted to be. In fact, I got
on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, which is why I don't trust this too much because let me play this clip real quick and we can break that down here.
Well, I learned a lot from that, and I pulled out an entertainment startup called To the Stars, and I knew I was going to be doing kind of like science fiction franchised stories, just like Disney, but science fiction for adults. And what that means is, I make a story, I title it, I brand it, and I put out the book, and I put out the merchandise, and I go make a movie,
See,
Okay.
This is all just promotion for his company so they can make a movie, and then that's how they do it. Like it's like
He moved
fourth level, meta level stuff.
As an artist, which he is an artist because he was obviously the writer and one of the lead
Co-author for Secret Machines.
co-author for books, and he was a writer for songs. I mean, the guy was a huge.
Did he write those songs?
Megastar.
Now I
now I
wonder.
question it. Yeah, megastar
What's my
and
age again?
artistic. Old.
Oh, yeah. Nobody likes you when you're my age, and it's not 23.
No more inside jokes.
That's not inside joke. That's outside jokes.
For all we know, maybe it's Generation Z kids listening to this. And they're like, who's Blink-182 though? I don't know who this is. And you start to realize that maybe he's just in this because this is his next artistic adventure, or venture, whatever you want to call it. Maybe this is his next thing that he's going for. Maybe he just left music. He has no more music left in him, but he loves science fiction. He's talked about it a lot during interviews. Maybe this is just kind of his new outlet for artistry.
It could be his way to just give him to present himself with credibility. But how do you get in contact with all these people? That's the thing.
That's where it always comes back to. Like, how do you have these people on your organizations, man?
Like,
I don't
what's
know.
What's their angle?
What are you doing talking to John
Lockheed
Podesta?
Martin's angle? in
Yeah,
this?
what's Lockheed Martin's angle?
To have a stake in an entertainment company?
Yeah, what's John Podesta's angle?
I guess.
You
I mean, you could just buy stock in Disney if you wanted to do that.
Yeah. It all ends up being where, like, we know the government has made many organizations and has paid a lot for propaganda throughout the years. If you don't believe that, I think you're nuts.
Well,
Like, it's well-known facts. And I just, this could be just another front for another government push for propaganda and more money to go ahead and funnel any more money laundering operation for the government to go and get more money to different places for funding for things. It could be a lot of things like that, maybe.
you know what I kind of want to do?
Huh.
And this is kind of like we're doing the show, and I probably shouldn't suggest this during the show.
Suggest
Well,
it.
maybe it's fine. We should do a book review of Secret Machines.
Sure. We could do that.
We could do the first book and then see how it goes, and then maybe do another one.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Because there's at least 2
How much
books
are the
out right
books?
now. They were only a couple bucks. The ebooks were pretty cheap.
Okay, we'll just do it on the Kindles then.
We could do that.
Oh, all right, man. I'm a little burnt out. Do you have anything else to add about this? Like,
I don't know.
I am burnt out from this.
We're in a place that I never thought the show would go. I never thought we'd be talking about alien conspiracies.
Never. No.
On Useful
We
Idiots.
totally thought we were society, politics,
UsefulIdiots.com.
culture. UsefulIdiots.com.
There you go.
Useful Idiot Show.
Well, no, if they hear
UsefulIdiotShow.com.
Oh, UsefulIdiotsShow.com.
Yeah, I can't
God,
say right.
stupid.
Of course, at Useful Idiot Show for Twitter, YouTube. You can get Useful Idiot Show on there as well, and Facebook. Now we have a Facebook page.
Oh, we
Useful
do.
Idiot Show as well. There's nothing on it as of this exact recording.
You gotta put our logo on there.
Yeah, I got the logo on there. That's
there
it.
we go.
Just the logos. So go visit those. We're gonna start posting some stuff on there.
We gotta get this thing going.
Exactly. Anything that we find out about this specifically, we're gonna start posting on there. We'll definitely have links on the show notes for everything we talked about today.
Yeah, a lot of intense, strange stuff.
Yeah, and I really think that everybody should go check out. I'll definitely post the Tucker Carlson interviews, the Joe Rogan interview with Tom DeLonge, the Tom DeLonge
You
interviews.
think Tom
general.
DeLonge would think we'll get him on our show?
I intend on it. I'm not making that promise to our listeners, though. Just hey, whatever you do, don't hold me to
Hey,
that.
we
please.
called you like an idiot for half the show and a
But you'd be a great guest.
propagandist. Yeah, but we'd love to have you on.
Love to have you on. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna post everything. I'm gonna let you guys decide for yourselves. I really would hope that people could maybe hit us up on Twitter or Facebook and let us know your thoughts on it. And of course, if you do have any thoughts,
Do we
let
have?
us know.
Can we do a poll?
We could do a poll.
Maybe we could do a poll.
Yeah, we should do a poll. We're gonna
You
do a
think
poll.
Tom DeLonge's nuts? It'll
Nuts?
be like yes or no or something
Yeah,
like
exactly. It would be something simple just to see what people say. And Paul's social media genius. He's
that.
gonna be able to do everything.
No, I'm not. No.
Look at all the followers we're having, Paul.
Yes.
They're just
It's
coming
gonna.
in.
It's just gonna. It can only go up from here.
It can only go up from here.
You're
Very,
right.
very good. No,
You're
that
right.
was funny. That was very funny. 'Cause truth is funny. All right.
Truth is out there.
Truth is out there. We're going to be back actually shortly. We're going to end up doing a show within only a couple days. Normally, we're going to be trying to do them once to twice a week. But, of course, today is going to be probably about Tuesday. Maybe
This
next
is our
one by
long
Thursday.
anticipated Tom DeLonge show.
Long-anticipated
We've been
Tom
talking
DeLonge.
about this for a long time.
It's been hard to kind of get the time
What are we gonna
to
do now
this.
that we don't have the Tom DeLonge show hanging over us?
Rand Paul?
Ah,
Rand Paul on budgets?
Hey, ooh.
I think that's a
Ooh,
great next
getting
topic.
excited.
I'm excited about it. I know you're excited about it. Maybe we could talk about the shooting. I don't want to do that. That's
The
too
Parkland
touchy.
shootings.
The Parkland shootings is a little too touchy of a subject.
Well,
We could talk about David Hogg because I hate his guts.
punch him in the face.
You want to punch him in the face too?
Kinda.
We
Well,
can
I
go-
think it's illegal if I punch him in the face. Well,
yeah. Sorry,
he's a
Hogg,
minor,
that's
right?
kind of
Or
an
is he a
aggress-
minor?
It's kind of an
Might be a
aggression,
CIA
and I don't
plug.
really like that. We should
CIA guy.
non-aggression principle, guys.
NAP.
NAP.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, unless you're driving a car, then you violate NAP if you nap.
Well done. Well done, Paul. All right, everybody. We'll be back in a couple days to show you another episode of The Useful Idiots, and it'll be better than this episode, I promise you. So we'll be able to see everybody very shortly. Anything that you have to say, post it on our Facebook or Twitter page at Useful Idiots Show. Thank you very much.